Hi, and welcome back. I'm Mary Jo, also known as Sojo, and today we are going to sew all of my cotton cut gnomes into a finished quilt top. So I'm just using Kona white because I keep bolts of it here to use as needed. So I'm going to get started by making a bunch of strips. I'm using my Martelli rotocutter and my stripology ruler. So I'm going to cut out some sashings, and I'm going to cut out 6 2.5 strips. Alright, so I cut up those, and those will be for my sashings. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut my borders. Now this is folded over again. I need to let a little bit more out on my bolt here. Now I do keep some neutral Kona solids in stock, like my white, and I have Kona snow, and two grays, a light gray, a dark gray, and a black. That way I always have them when I need them for backgrounds. Then I'm going to cut out 2 5-inch pieces. For top borders. And then 4 6.5. So set that up. So I need 3 more 6.5s. Situate this again. I do always start by squaring off that first cut just a little bit. So I need a 6.5 and another 6.5, which would be 13, and then another 6.5, which would be 19.5. So I'm just setting aside those 5-inch strips and those 6.5 strips I cut. And I'm going to take my 2.5-inch strips and I'm going to lay them out because I'm going to cut them at 12.5 and 22.5. Just going to lay them on top of each other here. It would have helped if these were pressed, but I didn't do that. Just gonna line up these other ones here, one on top of each other. Alright, I'm going to grab that Stripology ruler again. Line it up. Cut off the selvage edge. And 12.5. So now just line up the bigger strips. And these are going to be 22.5. Move some things out of the way. Line those up down there on 0. And I'm just going to take this at 22.5, which is right there. So I'm back here over at the sewing machine, and I'm going to start sewing these down into like a web piecing type thing. So I'm just going to sew one column at a time. So we're starting up here with my sashing row. I will not break the threads. I'm going to leave these all here, and they will help serve as pens. There we go. So now I'm just gonna sew this down. And keep going, and then I'll move over to the next column once this is all done. So now I'm all done with the sewing. If you saw, I ran out of bobbin thread, and then the top broke because I was still trying to sew. So I had to fix that a couple times. But I've got it all over here. I'm going to press all of this together and then pin it some more and take it to the sewing machine. And when I go back to the sewing machine, I am going to pin my side borders together, which are my 6.5 strips. So I'm going to pin 2 of those 6.5 strips together for one side border, and then I'm going to pin the other 2 together for the other side border. And then I'm going to sew at the same time I sew all this. So I will see you back over the sewing machine. Now I'm just going to start sewing all these together. So the center of the quilt top will be done. And then I will take it over and press it and start the borders. So everything is sewn together. So I'm just going to press this, and then I'm going to cut my side border strips to the right side and pin the borders on, and then take it to the sewing machine and sew them down. And then I'll come back and cut my top and bottom borders. Pin them on and sew them. So I pressed that top together, and the sides measure 50.5. So fold it over, that's 25.25. So I'm just lining this right up on the seam. These are 2 pieces sewn together, and I'm going to cut it at 25.25. That's one. Just going to do the second one here and cut it at 25.25. Oops, those are my 5 inches. I don't want to mess with those. I want my other, this one. Again, this is folded over. I'm just lining the seam up here down at 0 and finding 25.25. Okay, now I'm going to press these and then pin them on and then take them to the sewing machine. I am just going to cut my top and bottom borders, and it is 42.5 is what it's measuring, but these are folded over, so it's going to be 21.25 is where I'm going to cut, because these are folded over and the fold line is at the 0. So I'm just lining these up. And 21.25. Okay, so now I just need to pin the top and borders on, top and bottom borders, sew, press them, and then we'll be back for the final look. There is it all done, the graduation gnomes.